All right. Good morning again. Another episode of Yes Way Jose. We just would like to do a number of things. We've had celebrities on here. We've had a lot of good people. Well, I'm the real celebrity.
I was going to say celebrities.
These are celebrities. I mean, we got celebrities. We got Gracie on this one. We've got Father Adam. These are celebrities to me.
Okay.
Well, because that was a confessional.
I think these are just people you know.
Oh, I can't.
You're confusing celebrities with people you know.
Okay, well, can the mayor just make them celebrities?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, this will help. The podcast will help.
Is this my show?
Yeah, this is your
So
show.
I can do that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's
Whatever you want to do. Whatever fantasy world you want to live in.
Yeah. Fantasy world. That too. The plane. You wouldn't know what that is.
No, I don't know that one.
I don't want to go. Most people that are older would understand that one. I'll have to break it down to you later. Anyway, good morning. Another episode of Yes Way Jose. And this one is really, well, I have guests. I have you and Eli as guests.
We are the guests.
You are the guests
We are
today.
the special. We are the special guests of all time.
We're celebrities.
And you're celebrities and special guest of all time.
Yeah.
See?
Because we are here all the time, and we are kind of guests.
So you're special. I just don't know how to explain that word to you. Or what special that really is.
Eli knows what it is.
No, man. Ran him over with a school bus. All right. But with that, good morning, guys. Again, we just want to make sure that you all know that every once in a while we want to stop and reflect on things. And again, obviously, 2 years as mayor. 2 years is this?
Yeah, this should be our Christmas episode.
Well,
this should be coming out right before Christmas.
And I think it'll be a good episode for people to go, like, what did we get done in these first 2 years? Well, that's what we're going to do today. Just a few minutes, we're going to sit and talk about what we have accomplished in the first 2 years, and then what's going to happen these next 2 years. Because all things said is, we're doing a lot of legwork behind things, and people are just waiting for stuff, right? Now the construction started with the Aquatic Center. And so now now it's getting started. So I want to start with just some basics. So we took office in January 3rd of 2023. And if you know anything about that day, it was a bad day for rain.
Was it?
And it rained so hard that on first day on the job.
Didn't have
wasn't keeping that track.
I'm telling you, you guys need to know this because I was coming to work on my first day as mayor, and I'm turning on Adam Shepherd, and then I'm making a right-hand turn on Conestoga with water about 8 inches deep. Right
okay,
there.
yeah.
And it does that periodically when it rains. And I'm like, this is my first day. I should have got a boat. I just should have got a boat and just paddled to work.
You're like, well, I guess drainage issues is going to be a problem.
Yeah. So, I mean, we all knew that was out there. But it's like, that's the first day of your job.
You're like, what is this, Venice?
Yeah. And start singing and get the, I don't know, a little violin or something. So I didn't know. Yeah, gondolas. That's right. Yeah. All right. So I don't know exactly what I thought going to work in all that rain. So when we got to work, we knew some things we wanted to do. And for everybody that's listening to this podcast, the very first thing that we did was to clean up the area around Wendy's.
Yeah.
It was like shrubbery.
That was the first thing I noticed you did.
Yeah. I mean, it just made our town look bad, right? So we wanted to make sure as you came in off the interstate that you didn't see that. Yeah. So now if you looked over the last couple of years, as you come into the town, and not only there, but around the 4465, we've cleaned it up real nice. So when you come into this exit 117 here at Shepherdsville, you're going to come into an area like, oh, what a quaint town. It's nice and clean. You can enjoy a little quick food, and then you can also get some gas and then get back on your way. That's kind of the first thing. We wanted the first impression. That's our door, our front door. So you're going to see a lot of emphasis through our public works and working with the state, to make sure that all these areas are kept clean. We really want to make sure that this part of our city is the first thing that you see is we're a nice, quaint, little clean town.
Well, and keeping things clean and like making things look nice like that, like the things that you can control help the things that you can't control. That's what helps, get businesses to want to move in and
absolutely
bring other things here that you don't necessarily have as much power over as mayor. But, that doing little things like that spread, it kind of ripples out.
Yeah. And then here's the kind of the funny one, and this will be when people will laugh like, oh yeah, the mayor tried to get that left-hand turn taken out of there. And you all know that left-hand turn right there at Wendy's. Yeah, and for everybody listening to this podcast, doing what we did has saved probably 80 accidents a year.
I was about to say, I used to work at Wendy's. I know that left-hand turn.
That was a bad. And again, some people still do that. And again, we are trying to make sure it's a safe. It's a poorly designed traffic flow from there. So we took that out as well. So between cleaning up the shrubbery there, we put that no left-hand turn in there. And it, listen, for most times it's really stopped people from having accidents. People are still going to make that turn. Occasionally we'll put a police officer out there and we'll cite people for doing that because we really don't want nobody to get hurt. Yeah. That's the key in this. No accidents and nobody really get hurt. Because when you come off 44 and you're making a right-hand turn on Adam Shepherd, you've got some speed to you. The car that's sitting there trying to make a turn, trying to cross 3 lanes to get over to go 44 west.
It feels like 6 lanes.
Do you remember?
It feels like more.
Does anybody know the game Frogger?
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
It feels like it's Frogger. You got to go kind of hope you can get across there because you're now watching for the guy making the right hand turn and you're looking over here to your right and going, okay, which cars are coming and can I get over to that far lane?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think I'd rather just go down and turn around.
I was going to say certain times a day. If it was certain times a day, I was getting off work. I would have to go down there and turn around at Kroger. But if I was like closing and it was late,
We'll be looking for you.
This is before.
But I think you might still have that tendency. Let's keep an eye on a camera on him just in case he decides he gets over there at nighttime. It's slow.
No, I'm the guy who'll go around.
Watching
and turn around.
you.
I'll go turn around somewhere so I don't have to cut out in front of a lot of traffic.
The traffic flow both there and on Conestoga making the left-hand turns there are really challenging. And again, it's part of the design. And, I'm not going to sit here and just the engineers that designed all this way back when, but a little more thought would have probably helped some of that traffic through there. I'm just going to leave it at that.
I don't know what came first, the little road that Wendy's is on or the main road, but like it just seems like the little road was just shoved into like Wendy's spot.
It was. And so again, for a lot of people listening to this, you guys will go, I know exactly what they're talking about. Well, understand that the city needs to try to do whatever it can to make it as safe as possible there. So you aesthetically make it look nicer around Wendy's. We got that. The next thing was actually part of the two things I really wanted to bring back was baseball, t-ball, and softball. All right, we didn't have it here for 5 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, 5 years, your kids had to go to Hillview or Mount Washington. And that really, in all small towns across USA, you have a rec program like that. You should have your kids actually living in their city, playing on their teams. And so we brought two good guys in. Ken and Tommy have really done a great job with the program. It's 2 years in. They've had some championships on a couple of the age groups, and we're excited that they've got it. We've actually got them in the park. Using the facilities out there to get the program started. But we would like long-term, for everybody listening, we'd like to have a sports complex here in Shepherdsville.
I was about to say, are those baseball fields over there by the school still there, or are they gone?
We do. We still have them, but the noise level is very challenging over there, right? Okay. Even though we've refurbished the schools over the school fields over there, but it's challenging. So they've left everything in the park right now.
Noise from 65?
65, yeah. It's really loud from a standpoint if you're over there trying to coach kids.
I didn't know if you were talking about those kids just out there playing real loud.
No, it's the other way around with the 65 traffic. But anyway, so we use the park, and it's really going well. And we're hoping that the next 2, 3, 4 years that there's opportunity for land in a sports complex for us to have something nice like Mount Washington has and E-Town has. So we want those kind of facilities here in our community too. So that's a big thing. We brought that back, and then people started, what's next? What did you do in these 2 years? Well, we borrowed $30 million. We've had this conversation on some of our podcasts, and I want to make sure one thing. If you listen to this podcast one more time, we borrowed $30 million and did not raise taxes. Okay? Did not raise taxes to make the payment to make this $30 million loan work for a beautiful aquatic center, obviously indoor-outdoor pools, gigantic slides that we're all going to slide down, indoor pickleball. We got places for birthday room, all kinds of office space in there. And so we got some really cool things happening with that. And it's not just going to be a Shepherdsville, Bullock County thing. It's going to be a regional impact.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a regional thing.
I mean, there's a lot of people going to be coming to our town and having fun with this. So we want you all to know that was a big decision. Yes, we did not take that lightly. And again, we did not raise taxes. We've not raised taxes in 2 years. We actually lowered your property tax just a little bit. But we have not in the 2 years raised any taxes. And we're proud about that because we've been able to manage the money that we have come into the city to make that special project work and obviously keep doing the things we do day to day. We're still working on roads. We're still working on drainage. We're doing a lot of really cool things in the park. And so for the first year, we got the money up and running, a lot of meetings, a lot of things you have to go through to make that whole process work. There's meetings for
paperwork.
And everybody knows in this office, I don't like paperwork.
Yeah.
But you do realize the extent of what you have to go through to actually formulate and actually sign a contract to get somebody to build this beautiful facility.
Right. Yeah.
So a lot of work involved in it. So in that time working on it, cost to cost. And inflation was involved in this, and then 10.5 months later, we had a 10% increase in costs for that. So again, it goes back to challenging what. Another thing is, I know we talked about this before, but we didn't lose that money. We've got $25 million in the bank right now, ready to build this aquatic center. So that's important for people to know that. Because right now the money we trying to keep the money in the bank because you can make interest off that money.
Yeah,
and then when we just take out as we need to pay the contractors who's doing the different phases of building this facility.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. I think.
Yeah, because you can make a lot of interest on that money if it's.
Oh yeah, if you leave it,
that's a lot of money. Yeah.
So we've been able to do some of that. And again, that's just good management of money. And I think that folks that listen to this podcast need to see that we're very good stewards of the money.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's cool about the podcast is it gives you an ability to be transparent and just talk straight to the people and be like, this is what we're doing, this is why we're doing it. It
Absolutely.
makes sense.
Yeah, and so there are some people that are concerned about the 30 million. There are people that are concerned about traffic, but we are as a city. We are going to build things for folks that live here.
Yeah.
I ran on that. And one of the nicest things that I tell people all the time, the nicest things that I get told about what we're doing is somebody will look me in the face and say, thank you. You're doing what you said you were going to do.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, I said all this before we ran. We're going to improve the quality of life for our families.
Yeah, I bet a lot of people probably saw you when you were running and stuff. Were probably like, he's never going to do all that. But you're doing it. I mean, it's happening. Yeah.
And I think that, and one caveat to that is you got to have a good team.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the folks that work in this city, I've got a support from my council supporting all the things we're doing, but I've got department heads and different groups doing great stuff. Nonprofits, churches, everybody's involved in doing what we're doing now. And that's the cool part about this.
Yeah.
So when you see all these things happening, know that it's because we're working together. So many times.
That's one thing I will compliment you on. I don't like to compliment you too much. But
it's okay. Just to calm the ego down just a little bit. You put too much gas on the fire, you know what's going to happen.
That's right. That's right. I don't want to get burned. But yeah, no, one thing I will say is like compared to, just your average person, you are very, very good at bringing people together and being like, you have an idea. That's cool. We're doing this other thing that like is kind of goes with that. Like, let's make it happen. Like, let's do things. A lot of people are a lot more standoffish, and I could see like a mayor having people coming to them with ideas and being like, I don't feel like doing that's a lot of work. Or But you're not like that at all.
No, thank you. Do you see how I handle that compliment?
Yeah, you did really good.
Are my earphones getting? Got to make sure. Got to control this ego. But I think the important piece in this for me is if you look at that, what you were just talking about, everybody doing that, I've got something sitting on my desk called difference maker. And I'm not going to tell you if you just go look at the definition of difference maker. It's really cool. And that I like to be that. I think that we have a good town with good people.
What do you mean you have it sitting on your desk? I'm confused.
It's a difference maker definition. It's a little plaque.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I leave out words every once in a while.
I was like, what?
Yeah, so difference.
There's the ego. Reminder.
Hello, is anybody up there?
Difference maker.
Difference maker.
I've never had a thing that said difference maker on my desk. That's not how my mind operates.
No, maybe we should.
Musician.
Maybe musician.
I put things on my desk that are like, get it done.
Difference maker. It's a good one. So with all that said, a lot of people, along with the now building these things, a town square, an amphitheater, all-inclusive playground, and a skate park.
Imagine what it's going to be like when you have an amphitheater and you're having like concerts. And then people are coming, like staying in a hotel, going to the concert, going to the aquatic center the next day, like walking up and down that whole like area, car country. That's going to be really cool. Like we're going to be like more of like a destination more than just stop.
Well, part of that is too. Obviously, we want to have things for our families here, but we want people to stay. If they're going from Michigan to Florida, why not stop and stay a couple days?
Yeah, I want their tax money too.
Yeah, we want their money as well. Yeah. We want anybody that wants to stop in and spend a couple days with us, right? That bourbon experience, wineries. We have a lot of things we're going to have. We're going to have a brewery downtown. Salt River Brewing, we've talked about that already. So we're going to start having things more for our folks here. And the focus for people to understand, we're doing all this for our families here, but there's going to be extra generated revenue for people coming to our town, right? Because this is the only indoor pool in the county. So all the high schools will be coming here for their meets.
For now, I heard Mount Washington's trying to compete with it. Is that true?
Bring it on. They can bring it on.
Is it just going to have pickleball courts?
I don't know. Not like ours.
Not to make ours better.
I don't know. Well, I think its competition is good. And I think, obviously, for Mount Washington, I think they're a great community. But we have been so far behind.
We're going to have some swimmers in this county.
Because we're going to
have some championship swim teams.
See? And that's because you have a facility, because they were scraping for time in Louisville.
Yeah.
So when you have that, we got a 5K that we're developing in the park. It'll be the only cross-country a home field.
Oh, really?
So all three high schools will use it as well.
Yeah.
We've talked to Jesse and his team at the school board, and we're hoping to make sure get that developed by the springtime so that in the fall they'll be able to use that for their program and whenever they actually run their meets. So
that'd be cool. That's something I didn't think about.
Yeah, and so and again, from a private standpoint, we've got somebody really just diligently working on building a bowling alley here. That would be great. Again, we'd have no bowling alley in Boulder County. We're always giving our money to Louisville for that sport. I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Nothing against Louisville, but I'd like to see our tax dollars stay in our county. So people need to see all the things that we're talking
Bullet Bowl. No.
I don't care what they call it. I just want a bowling alley here. That means that all 3 high schools, again, would be in Shepherdsville.
Yeah, I remember when they tore that down. We were saying.
Really, and somebody mentioned a roller rink. I would even be okay with it. How about an outdoor drive-in movie?
Yeah.
Right? Would
that'd be
cool?
cool.
Bring
That would
something
be
like
cool.
that back, right?
Yeah.
We've got some places that we can look at some of these things, and there's ideas from everybody. I mean, I've heard different things. We are looking and listening to the folks that have ideas to make our community better, but we need people to understand what we're doing. We're focused. Okay, this is not that we are taking everything we're doing as serious. We're enthusiastic and excited, but you got to know we're doing these things for the whole. For the whole community to see that they benefit from that. The only thing that has any kind of admission is the aquatic center.
Yeah.
Everything else, like the skate park, could be available no charge. All of the all-inclusive playground and the splash pad over there and the Gaga ball court and all that's for the basketball court for the kids. We got 2 outdoor pickleball courts we're going to have out there. We're going to have a full-size basketball court in the park.
And that kind of stuff is so big too because there's so many communities where there's just nothing for kids.
No.
You know what I mean? Like this will be like, you can complain or whatever you want to do because there's construction and stuff, but like imagine having all these places to be able to take your kids and be like, this is what we're going to do today. Like, as a father to like little kids, it's nice to have things to be able to let them do, you know what I mean? Because you like to see them have fun. You like to see them be able to.
We want them to be kids.
Yeah, right.
He's a kid still, right? Kind of, maybe.
Yeah, kind of.
Mentally,
Depends on the day.
Well, depends on the day. Well, you're still our kid because you're 18, right? When do you turn 19?
Oh, he just turned 18.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
August.
Oh, yeah.
So,
next August. Well, he'll be mature.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think that when people see it, I get one of the best examples is Roby.
Yeah.
Those basketball courts over there. We actually spent the money out of our tax dollars to put those basketball courts there for everybody to use, and they're busy.
Yeah.
And so it's really good to see that we've got venues for kids to go out and do this instead of getting in trouble.
Yeah,
a lot of families know.
Yeah, the skate park one I think is huge, just because you think about, like I've said before, I used to be kind of a skate poser or whatever.
I can't wait to see. You got any pictures of it?
No, no, I wasn't that good.
Yeah.
But I would ride my skateboard around and pretend like I was jumping up on stuff and things. I was trying, but there was never anywhere to do it though, and just the reason that everybody gets so mad at people when they're skateboarding and stuff is because there's nowhere to do it. So they're always doing it in places where they shouldn't be doing it because you need concrete.
Yeah.
And,
so let's just talk about that again. We mentioned that. So that's going to be done in the first quarter. So in the first 2 years, a lot of the planning was done, right? We did some low hanging fruit, what I call like the Roby basketball courts, and we've got some stuff now in the park. But we're aesthetically changing out there. We're putting new fences out there. We're changing the pavilion that's on this side because the Frankie sign of the park, and if you're listening to this, it's going to be under construction for about 6 months.
Yeah.
So that side of the park you won't be able to get on because all that work's going to be
you
done.
can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
No, we're gonna Do you do breakfast? We don't have breakfast today.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah.
No, you didn't do omelets. I thought he was going. Did you hear that?
Breakfast.
Is he bringing
yet.
breakfast? Yeah.
He was like, I need a bedtime snack.
So, do we really want to know that he's just doing that late night shift? Do we really care?
No, I don't care.
Okay, good. All right, good. It's just part of
You
me.
don't care if I take a nap during the podcast.
I thought that's what he does.
He came in
I
this
thought he
morning.
does that.
We were setting up the stuff this morning, and I was like, "Are you awake?"
I was like,
I was like asking him a question, and he was just like staring off into space.
Yeah, what you need. I'm right there for you. Yeah,
That's what it was.
That's what happens. But anyway, I think people to really need to understand. So those first 2 years are formidable years, getting everything ready to go. So the next 2 years, right? And before I forget that,
These are the action years.
These are action years. And in these first 2 years, one of the other things that we're very proud of, well, actually two aspects, is that we utilize the gym for all different kind of sports, teaching kids sports like basketball, volleyball, soccer.
Yeah, you guys were using that thing all the time during the summer.
Archery. We've got all the different organizations. We're doing anything anybody needs it. We're allowing people to use that gym for facilities. We want people staying active. You know, if they want to walk in the gym, you're more than welcome to. No charge for any of the use of the gym. But the other piece is too that we're really excited about is we put our City Fair Bullet Blast on this last summer, and we put on some really nice rides, and we had all kinds of accommodations, and it was free.
Yeah.
Let me say that again. It was free.
Right, yeah.
So I'm really proud of that. We're able to finance our events in our city and not charge the residents.
Yeah,
and really everybody comes in.
I remember growing up, Bullet Blast, was just a thing where you go and park somewhere in Shepherdsville and watch fireworks. That was all it was.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was no, food trucks or rides or any kind of thing like that. It was just like, hey, go park down at Paraket Springs and watch some fireworks. Like that was all it was. So
we
it's
were
way cooler to have like a festival around it.
Yeah, we were trying to calculate on the Saturday that we had for the 4th of July event for the Bullet Blast. Before that night, from the pavilion all the way back to Plum, it was packed.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how many people that was. It's thousands and thousands of people. But we were excited to do that because that's the kind of stuff that people want to see. I mean, things are tough. Inflation, hopefully with the changing of the presidency, that we'll see some inflation drop. We want to see those things. We need those things to happen to bring back some reality to the really hardworking families that we have in all the communities.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough.
People
You're
are
putting
struggling out there.
utilities and food on the table and making sure you pay your rent.
Yeah.
So with that, we kept all of that in mind. And so when people listen, again, I always reemphasize, if you want to know what's going on, listen to these podcasts and listen to what we're saying. We are doing everything we can conscientiously within reason and legal to make it affordable to be in this community.
Yeah, legal. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm going to miss Travis. He's no longer on the show. That's what happens to the staff members when they're insubordinate. No, it's all good. But, we want to keep it fun. I mean, we want to keep all this fun when it comes to the things we're doing, but we're serious about what we're going to do. And so with the first 2 years, a lot of planning, some low-hanging fruit with some of the free things. We did activities for the kids, but now it gets going. Now, so by this next summer of 2025, you'll see a structure on that aquatic center.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be real exciting because then it changes the dynamics. Like, people have a skepticism. Yeah, you're doing this, and we haven't seen anything. So then we actually started the foundation for the aquatic center. Oh, wow, they must be doing something. But when they see a structure, it's gonna be, and then
that's when you start getting excited.
Yeah. And you start seeing those 2 slides, the 24-foot slides get put up.
Yeah,
it's like, oh man, this
start
is
seeing
cool.
the pool getting dug. Yeah, you're like, ooh.
So we have a lot of cool things like that. But we also really want to talk a lot about the park because the park has that playground side. So the aquatic center, kart country area with the putt-putt and arcade, we want to make that kind of an entertainment area for the city, right? You come into the Joby Hall on that side.
Yeah, it makes sense, yeah.
And then when you go into the park, when you go on the 44 side coming through Frankie Simon, we want that to be kind of a family experience. We want to have pavilions out there. We want to have, obviously, the playground. It's all going to be gated in that area because that's a family area for kids to run around and enjoy it, but also have picnics and birthdays out there.
Okay.
So that's a big part of that, and you're just more. It's a first come first serve. There'll be that's the best way you can do that for people to enjoy it. There's going to be different pavilions we'll put out there, so more than 1 or 2 families can have birthdays or picnics out there.
Yeah,
so we'll have those accommodations.
There was one out there already, right?
There's one pavilion that we're going to keep. But we're going to put. We've got on the building that
I haven't been on that side in a while.
Yeah, it just come through there, and we're going to. You'll see that what I call the horse fence, the 3 black panel fence that we're putting all the way through the park is really aesthetically going to make it look nicer.
Yeah,
because some of the fences are kind of outdated and a little bit rough. So people just need to drive around and see what we're doing. I encourage you all to go drive around, look at all the different projects in the park. The downtown square is going to be a little bit more. There's some things with utilities and moving lines off of the state road. So that probably be the last project that gets done in the second year, the 2 years. We want to make sure people start seeing all this, but we want them to understand that it's a symbol of people wanting to be part of our community.
Yeah, I was going to say, even the park, like if you haven't been to the park in a while, because there was a period there where I didn't really go to the park. I didn't have kids, wasn't really going to the park. But if you haven't been in the last few years, like it's a lot cleaner and nicer looking, on the especially the river side.
Yeah. So what we did there, that's a great observation. Yeah. See, you would know that if you weren't sleeping. So on when you're looking at the river, we've cleared out some of the foliage to there.
Yeah,
so
it had gotten really grown up to where you couldn't even hardly see.
Yeah. And we want people to enjoy that park. Listen, the potential of Shepherdsville is there.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a chance to do so many good things for the people that live here. But I will also tell you, one of the things along with the traffic and water is housing.
I was actually going to ask you about that. What we're doing about the housing situation. So that's one of the biggest things I see is whenever people are looking for somewhere to like live now on Facebook, they'll post on there that they're looking for like an apartment or whatever, and like the prices that they're asking to stay under are crazy. I mean, I know part of that's inflation, but that's
it's a challenge.
Some of it's a housing shortage too.
It is a housing shortage, and the inventory is going to keep things high a little bit, and then obviously with inflation and interest rates.
Yeah.
But for people that look at Shepherdsville, they need to look at the dynamic. What the next 2 years going to bring with all the projects we're doing, a lot of private conversation with us about full-service restaurants.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised that you hear something from City Hall about what we're doing. We're working behind the scenes now with some different concepts, probably over the last year and a half. And we're saying, why not Shepherdsville? Why can't you build us full-service restaurants? Why can't we have better shopping? And we can, because what they're seeing, the investments that we're making, we're spending millions of dollars to build the kind of community we should have always had.
Right.
Yeah.
So since that's happening, you got a private investment that's coming into play here. You're still going to continue to get the businesses. I mean, listen, warehouses are part of our community because of our close proximity to the airport.
Yeah.
And the sixth major artery in the country runs through the middle of the city.
Yeah, it's a huge part of our economy, just being able to, you have to use what's useful.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Well,
and the fact that we're that close to, that shipping hub is a useful thing to use. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing for us in this, from me, is that people need to understand is that we have never taken the money from the warehouse development and actually reinfused it back in. And that's what we're doing now, because taking that money now which
is what we should have been doing the whole time.
All the time.
That's why else would you let them build there if you're not going to use the money from it?
And we have the money to do that. And we have the resources to build the community that we want. And it's a lot. You know, I know a lot of people are like, man, what's this mayor doing, man? He's got like 500 projects working. Yeah, we do. We do have a lot of things going on, but we're trying to catch up a little bit, accelerate some of the community services that we offer.
Yeah.
And that's a piece we haven't talked a whole lot about, but that's going to continue to change. We have people in our community less fortunate. Some are homeless. And so we need to figure out what we need to do to help them, because I always make this emphasis. We are going to have services. We have churches and nonprofits working on those type of things for their community. Yeah. But you got to want help,
especially this time of year.
Yeah. You got to want help. Yeah. Because if you don't want it, then you're going to still be in those situations 2 and 3 years down the road. And it may even get worse for you.
Right.
So if you want help, I think you're going to see over the next couple of years, you're going to see that piece. And that's not a piece that people think a lot about. But when you're thinking about all these glamorous projects, and then you think about the activities and sports that we're focusing on, we do not lose the folk that we want to continue to help those in need.
Yeah, you can't have those big, nice things without taking care of the little things, because otherwise it's just going to get ruined.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason for this podcast. We want people to at least understand, we're not going to get everything right. Not every day.
Yeah.
No, but our intentions are always right. We're focused 24/7 on Shepherdsville being the best community. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know that about me, then you don't know me. Because I think that's the thing that most people know. Like, yeah, this guy's like, he's got roller skates on.
That's one thing. You're always moving forward. You don't have to worry about like Shepherdsville falling back into like old ways or things getting grown up or things not getting taken care of when he's around, because he's always doing something.
Yeah, and I drive the city, and I see areas that are our responsibility.
Right. Yeah.
We clean them up,
and that's that's your job. So if you weren't doing that, then that would be like, but maybe sometimes people don't always do that.
Yeah. Well, I think for us, and this is what I want to leave people with, is I think that if you continue to look at what we're doing and you keep your eyes open, you're going to see a community that's really developing every day. We're finding new things that we're doing, and so that's the reason for this podcast is I want people to know first 2 years, next 2 years, and get ready.
Yeah.
And get ready and be excited, because, for a lot of us, we've been wanting this. And now that I see it, I've been in communities that I've seen these things, okay? And it should be here. I love Shepherdsville. Yeah. I ran for mayor for that specific point, to improve quality of life for our families. And we're going to get there, guys. We're going to get there, and I think I'm really excited about that. I just like everybody helping out. And listen, oh, God, I got to be nice to you. I think the last time I said something nice about you guys, I had a rash. I did. I couldn't get rid of it for about a week.
I've given you like 2 compliments.
Well, that's just feeding the beast.
Yeah,
that's just feeding the beast. You're just feeding the beast. That's like I'm eating from that trough of ego. Right?
Trough of ego.
Yeah, that's me, man. That's mine.
That's what we need on his desk. Is the trough of ego.
But you know what? And somebody said that when we were talking about my ego, they were like, "Yeah, you've got a good one." I said, "Yes, I do," and it's what drives me.
Yeah.
It's really the energy that a lot of things.
You can use ego as a tool.
Yeah, it can be a positive.
It can be a positive.
It can be a positive.
You have to keep it under control, Jose.
Okay, I'll work on that. My wife's got that. That's her job. She's not doing a great job on that.
Oh, yeah, keeping your ego under control. Yeah,
she does okay. It's like, it's just the chain gets just a little longer all the time. I get just further out.
Yeah.
And then she's like trying to haul me back in.
So anyway, what's the compliment you were going to give us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to get away from that.
Don't forget.
No, look at you. You remember that posted mark right there?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, I will tell you this, because of this show, we're getting a chance to get that message out. And you guys came up with this show. I'm really excited about it because it gives me that medium that I can get out there and actually get the message out. So I think you guys, again, remember how we talked about the community coming together? You're a part of that because you guys put this together. People don't realize, we joke about a lot of stuff, but this is your time and effort to do this.
Yeah.
And your money.
Yeah.
And your money.
A lot of money.
Sleep. Yeah, and Eli's sleep. So, and he's barely hanging on. So we're going to give him a workman's comp day because I think he's going to fall down and hit his head on that table in a minute. But I do appreciate Eli being here because it's tough, it's challenging. But you guys do all these things to make this program work. So I know I say that, but I really do appreciate all that you guys have put making this happen because I've had fun with it, man. We've had a great time with it.
We appreciate you giving us a shot.
Yeah, listen. I hope we're seeing that more people want to listen. So we just got to keep getting the word out there.
Yeah.
And as people figure out that this is just a medium to listen to, if you got 15, 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
And just find out what's going on in your hometown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what better way to find out what's going on than just hearing what the mayor's saying? You know what I mean?
and you see the police chief on there, and you see the fire chief on there. So you
Right,
get to see
yeah. So you get to hear a lot of the things, the different leaders in the city that are,
community
doing
planner with
different
Amber
things. Yeah.
and Courtney, my economic advisor. So I think there's a lot of things that are going on. I just want to tell you all, thank you for putting this on. And listen, for everybody here, please thank you for listening. And I want to make sure email address is
YesWayJosemail@gmail.com.
nailed it. All right. And with that said, guys, listen, thank you again for another episode. And 1, 2, 3, love, peace, chicken grease. Thanks for everybody listening.